The Celestial Seeker, a Xeroxian research vessel, shuddered as it dropped out of hyperspace. Captain Nyx, a tall, willowy being with iridescent skin, steadied herself against the command console. Her large, almond-shaped eyes blinked rapidly, adjusting to the sudden shift in reality. "Status report," she demanded, her melodic voice tinged with concern. First Officer Vex, a stocky creature covered in short, blue fur, tapped furiously at his console. "Captain, we've suffered a critical failure in our propulsion matrix. We're operating at 15% capacity and losing power rapidly." Nyx's antennae twitched in agitation. This deep in uncharted space, their options were limited. Scan for any nearby celestial bodies or structures. We need a safe haven for repairs. The bridge crew worked in tense silence, the only sound the soft bleeping of their instruments. Suddenly, the sensors chirped urgently. "Captain," explained Zara, the young navigation officer, her scales shimmering with excitement. "I'm detecting an artificial structure ahead. It appears to be a space station." Nyx leaned forward, her interest piqued. "Out here. Whose is it?" Vex's furry brow furrowed as he analyzed the data. It's human, Captain." A collective gasp rippled through the bridge. Humans were a relatively new species on the galactic stage, known for their unpredictability and bizarre customs. The Xeroxian High Council had advised caution in dealings with them. But Nyx knew they had little choice. "Hail the station, Vex. We need their help." As they approached the massive structure, the crew of the Celestial Seeker couldn't help but marvel at its design. Unlike the sleek, uniform constructions favored by most species, this station was a hodgepodge of modules, struts, and blinking lights. It looked almost haphazard, yet there was an undeniable efficiency to its layout. "Xeroxian vessel, this is Nebula 9 station," a cheerful human voice crackled over the comm. "We've got a berth ready for you. Follow the green guide lights and welcome to the edge of human space." As they maneuvered into the docking bay, Nyx turned to her crew. "Remember, we're here for repairs only. Maintain protocol and limit interactions with the humans." The airlock hissed open, and a wave of sounds, smells, and sights assaulted their senses. The docking bay was a riot of activity. Humans of all shapes and sizes darted about, some on foot, others on strange wheeled contraptions, or even hovering devices. A small group approached the Celestial Seeker's crew, led by a tall, dark-skinned human with a shock of white hair and a wide grin. "Welcome to Nebula 9. I'm Station Commander Ryder, and this is our Chief Engineer, Dr. Tessa Wong." Nyx inclined her head in a formal greeting. "I am Captain Nyx of the Xeroxian research vessel Celestial Seeker. We require immediate assistance with our propulsion systems." Dr. Wong, a shorter woman with cybernetic augmentations visible on her temples, nodded enthusiastically. "No problem, Captain. We'll have you up and running in no time. But first, let's get you all settled. You've arrived just in time for the annual Cosmic Crusher Championship." Vex's fur bristled with curiosity. Cosmic Crusher. Ryder's grin widened impossibly further. "Only the biggest extreme sports competition in the quadrant. While we fix up your ship, you'll have front row seats to the most exciting event in human space." As they were led through the station, the Celestial Seeker's crew found themselves overwhelmed by the sights and sounds around them. Holographic displays showcased humans performing seemingly impossible feats, leaping from great heights, racing at breakneck speeds, and contorting their bodies in ways that defied physics. "Is this safe?" Zara asked, her scales paling as she watched a human on the screen plummet towards a planet's surface, only to deploy a thin fabric that slowed their descent. Ryder laughed. "Safe. Where's the fun in that? But don't worry, we've got top-notch medical facilities. Injuries are just part of the game." Nyx exchanged worried glances with her crew. What had they gotten themselves into? As they reached their assigned quarters, a commotion in the corridor caught their attention. A group of humans burst through a nearby door, cheering and shouting. In their midst was a small, wiry human with wild red hair, covered in some sort of shimmering, iridescent dust. "Ladies, gentlemen, and beings of all types," someone shouted, "we have a new record. Supernova Stellar has just completed the Neutron Star Surf Challenge in record time." The red-haired human, presumably Supernova Stellar, grinned and pumped her fist in the air. "That's what I'm talking about. Who's ready for the next event?" As the crowd moved on, Nix turned to Commander Ryder. "Neutron Star Surfing. Surely that's just a name, right? Your species hasn't actually." Ryder's eyes twinkled with mischief. "Oh, Captain, you have no idea what humans are capable of, but stick around and you just might find out." As the door to their quarters slid shut behind them, Nix and her crew stood in stunned silence. They had come seeking simple repairs, but it was clear that their encounter with humanity was going to be far more than they had bargained for. Zara was the first to break the silence. "Captain, do you think we made a mistake coming here?" Nick's iridescent skin shimmered with uncertainty. "I'm not sure, Zara, but I have a feeling we're about to learn a great deal about our new allies in the Galactic community." As they settled into their temporary home, the sounds of cheering and the faint rumble of what could only be described as controlled explosions filtered through the walls. The crew of the Celestial Seeker exchanged nervous glances, each wondering what adventures, or misadventures, awaited them in the days to come. Little did they know, their encounter with the humans of Nebula 9 was about to challenge everything they thought they knew about themselves, about humanity, and about the very limits of what was possible in the vast expanse of the universe. The following morning, Captain Nix and her crew gathered in their temporary quarters, still trying to process a sensory overload of their first day on Nebula 9 station. The constant hum of activity outside their walls was a stark contrast to the orderly silence they were accustomed to on their own ship. "Status report," Nix commanded, her antennae twitching nervously. Vex, ever efficient, brought up a holographic display. "The humans have begun repairs on our propulsion systems, Captain. Their chief engineer, Dr. Wong, estimates it will take approximately 1 standard week to complete." A collective groan echoed through the room. Spend a week surrounded by these adrenaline-fueled creatures. The very thought made Nick's iridescent skin ripple with unease. "We have no choice," she chittered. "We must make the best of this situation. Perhaps we can use this time to learn more about our allies." As if on cue, the door chimed, and Commander Ryder's voice filtered through the comm system. "Good morning, Celestial Seekers. I hope you're ready for an exciting day. Mind if I come in?" With a resigned nod from Nix, the door slid open, revealing the grinning human commander. Today, he was dressed in what appeared to be tight-fitting, brightly colored clothing that left little to the imagination. "Great news," Ryder exclaimed, either oblivious to or ignoring the alien's discomfort. "We've decided to make you honorary participants in this year's Cosmic Crusher Championship." Nick's antennae stood straight up in alarm. I beg your pardon." Ryder's grin widened impossibly further. "It's a fantastic opportunity for interspecies cooperation and understanding. Plus, it'll be a blast." Before any of the Celestial Seekers' crew could protest, Ryder was ushering them out of their quarters and into the bustling corridors of the station. As they walked, they passed humans engaged in all manner of bizarre activities. In one large open area, individuals were scaling a sheer wall with nothing but their bare hands and feet. In another, humans dove from great heights into pools of water barely large enough to contain them. "Here we are," Ryder announced as they entered a vast arena. "This is where the opening ceremony will take place in just a few hours. But first, let's get you all kitted out and introduce you to your trainers." Before the aliens could protest, they found themselves whisked away to different corners of the arena. Nix found herself face to face with a grizzled human male who introduced himself as gravity-defying Greg. "All right, tentacle head," Greg grunted, looking Nix up and down. "Let's see what you're made of. Ever done any anti-grav parkour?" Nick's large eyes blinked in confusion. Anti-grav, parkour. Greg's weathered face broke into a grin that was eerily reminiscent of a predator eyeing its prey. Oh, we're going to have fun with you. Meanwhile, Vex found himself paired with a lithe, graceful human female who introduced herself as Stratosphere Sarah. Those 4 arms of yours are going to be a huge advantage, Sarah mused, circling Vex with a critical eye. How do you feel about heights? Vex's blue fur stood on end. Heights, I prefer to keep my feet on solid ground, thank you. Sarah's laugh was like tinkling bells. Oh, honey, by the time I'm done with you, you'll be dancing on air. Across the arena, young Zara was staring wide-eyed at a contraption that looked like a cross between a spacecraft and a surfboard. Her trainer, a heavily tattooed human with neon green hair, was gesturing excitedly. This baby right here is what we use for neutron star surfing, the human explained. Don't worry, we'll start you off in the simulator before we hit the real cosmic waves. As the day progressed, the Celestial Seeker's crew found themselves pushed to their physical and mental limits. Nyx, despite her initial reluctance, discovered that her flexible, elongated body gave her a surprising advantage in navigating obstacle courses. Vex, after several terrifying attempts, found an unexpected thrill in swinging from great heights, his 4 arms allowing for complex maneuvers that even seasoned human athletes struggled to match. Zara, the young navigation officer, surprised everyone by taking to the neutron star surfing simulator like she was born for it. Her innate understanding of celestial bodies and gravitational forces translated perfectly to riding the simulated waves of cosmic energy. As the sun began to set, or at least as the station's artificial lighting dimmed to simulate evening, the exhausted alien crew gathered once more. Despite their fatigue, there was an undeniable spark of excitement in their eyes. I never knew my body could do such things, Vex admitted, his fur still standing on end from the rush of adrenaline. Nyx nodded, her antennae bobbing in agreement. Indeed, these humans, for all their apparent recklessness, seemed to possess an intimate understanding of physical capabilities, and not just their own, it would seem. Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of Commander Ryder, accompanied by a small entourage of humans, including the red-haired supernova Stella they had seen the day before. Well, Stella exclaimed, her green eyes sparkling with mischief. Looks like we've got some real contenders here. You aliens might just give us a run for our money. Ryder nodded enthusiastically. I've been getting reports from your trainers all day. You've all shown remarkable aptitude, which is why we've decided to fast-track you into tomorrow's qualifying rounds. A mixture of excitement and terror rippled through the alien crew. Qualifying rounds. They had only just learned of these sports mere hours ago. As if reading their thoughts, Stella stepped forward. Don't worry, folks. The first rule of being a cosmic crusher is this: fear is just excitement in disguise. Embrace it, and you'll do fine. With that cryptic advice, the humans bid them good night, leaving the Celestial Seeker's crew to ponder their fate. As they made their way back to their quarters, Nyx found herself lost in thought. She had come to this station seeking simple repairs, but in just one day, her entire worldview had been shaken. These humans, with their seemingly reckless pursuit of danger, had awakened something within her and her crew, a long-dormant sense of adventure. Perhaps, she thought, there was more to learn from humanity than she had initially believed. As they settled into their beds that night, each member of the Celestial Seeker's crew found themselves filled with a mixture of anticipation and nerves. Tomorrow, they would face challenges unlike any they had encountered in their long careers as space explorers. But somehow, the prospect filled them not with dread, but with an unfamiliar tingling sensation. Excitement, Nyx realized as she drifted off to sleep. This must be what the humans call excitement. Little did they know, the qualifying rounds were just the beginning. The true test of their newfound abilities and the depth of human ingenuity and determination was yet to come. The next few days passed in a blur of intense training, cultural exchanges, and personal discoveries for the crew of the Celestial Seeker. Each morning they awoke to find their bodies aching in ways they never knew possible, yet filled with a strange, exhilarating energy that pushed them to new heights. Captain Nix, the once cautious leader, found herself embracing the human concept of pushing limits. Under gravity-defying Greg's gruff tutelage, she learned to use her elongated, flexible body in ways she never imagined. Anti-grav Parker, it turned out, was perfectly suited to her Xeroxian physiology. "That's it, tentacle head," Greg shouted as Nix executed a perfect wall run, her body defying gravity in ways that left even seasoned human athletes gaping. "You're a natural." Vex, meanwhile, had overcome his initial fear of heights and was now soaring through the air with a grace that belied his stocky frame. Stratosphere Sarah had introduced him to a sport called cosmic trapeze, and his forearms gave him an unprecedented advantage. "You're creating entirely new moves," Sarah marveled as Vex twisted and spun through a complex routine. "We might have to rename this sport in your honor." Even Zara, whose alien physiology seemed at first glance to be ill-suited to human sports, was making remarkable progress. Her natural affinity for navigation translated beautifully to neutron star surfing, and she was quickly becoming a favorite among the human competitors. As they trained, the aliens found themselves forming unexpected bonds with their human counterparts. Meals became a time of cultural exchange, with the Celestial Seeker's crew sampling Earth cuisines, some more successfully than others, and sharing stories of their own world. Wait, Supernova Stella said one evening, her fork paused halfway to her mouth. "You're telling me that on your planet, the highest form of entertainment is watching crystalline structures grow?" Nix nodded sullenly. The subtle molecular changes over time are quite fascinating. The table erupted in laughter, and even Nick's iridescent skin rippled in what might have been amusement. As the week progressed, the aliens found themselves not just adapting to human sports, but excelling at them. Their unique physiologies, combined with their newfound enthusiasm, allowed them to approach challenges from angles the humans had never considered. One afternoon, as they took a rare break from training, Nix found herself in a quiet corner of the station, gazing out at the stars. Commander Ryder joined her, his usual boundless energy tempered by a moment of reflection. "Credit for your thoughts, Captain?" he asked, echoing a human phrase Nix had recently learned. Nix's antennae twitched thoughtfully. "I'm contemplating how much has changed in such a short time," she finally said. "When we first arrived here, I thought your species was reckless, even dangerous." Ryder nodded, encouraging her to continue. "But now," Nix went on, "I'm beginning to understand your pursuit of these extreme activities. It's not about recklessness at all, is it? It's about pushing boundaries, about refusing to accept limitations." "That's part of it," Ryder agreed. "But it's more than that. It's about trust. In ourselves, in our teammates, in our equipment. It's about facing our fears and coming out stronger on the other side." Nix's large eyes blinked slowly as she processed this. "I believe I'm starting to understand this cosmic crusher philosophy of yours. It's not just about sports, is it? It's a way of approaching life itself." Ryder's smile was warm and genuine. "Now you're getting it, Captain. And from what I've seen this week, you and your crew have that spirit in you too. You just needed a little push to bring it out." As they stood there, alien and human, gazing out at the vast expanse of space, Nix felt a profound shift in her worldview. The universe suddenly seemed larger, full of endless possibilities, and for the first time in her long career, she felt truly, excitingly alive. The moment was broken by the arrival of Vex, his blue fur ruffled with excitement. "Captain, Commander, you won't believe what just happened in training." As Vex launched into an enthusiastic recounting of his latest aerial feat, Nix caught Ryder's eye. The human commander winked at her, a gesture she was now familiar with, and she felt her antennae twitch in what might have been the beginnings of a smile. The next few days flew by in a whirlwind of final preparations. The crew of the Celestial Seeker, once outsiders, now found themselves fully integrated into the vibrant community of cosmic crushers. They swapped stories, shared meals, and even began to pick up some of the humans' colorful slang. On the eve of the championship, as the station buzzed with anticipation, the aliens gathered in their quarters for a final team meeting. Tomorrow, Nyx began, her voice filled with an authority that now came from more than just her rank. We will compete alongside the humans in their Cosmic Crusher Championship, but I believe we have already won something far more valuable than any trophy. She looked around at her crew, seeing not just her subordinates, but a team that had grown stronger together. We came here as outsiders, seeking only repairs. We will leave as friends, having repaired not just our ship, but our understanding of what it means to be part of this galactic community. Vex, his 4 arms moving in excited gestures, chimed in. Captain's right. Whatever happens tomorrow, we've already achieved something amazing. We've pushed ourselves further than we ever thought possible. Zara, her scales shimmering with determination, added, and we've shown the humans that there's more to us than they might have thought. We're not just scientists or explorers. We're adventurers too. As they settled in for the night, each member of the Celestial Seeker's crew felt a mix of nervousness and excitement for the coming day. But underlying it all was a newfound confidence, a belief in themselves and each other that transcended species and cultures. They had come seeking repairs, but they had found so much more. They had found transformation, both physical and mental. They had found friendship in the most unexpected places, and most importantly, they had found a new way of looking at the universe and their place in it. Tomorrow, they would show the galaxy what it truly meant to be cosmic crushers. But win or lose, they knew that their lives and the future of human-alien relations would never be the same again. The day of the Cosmic Crusher Championship dawned with an electric atmosphere permeating every corner of Nebula 9 station. Captain Nyx and her crew awoke to find their quarters filled with specially designed uniforms, sleek, form-fitting outfits that accommodated their unique physiologies while proudly displaying both the Xeroxian emblem and the Cosmic Crusher logo. As they made their way to the main arena, the aliens were struck by the sheer scale of the event. Holographic displays flickered to life around them, showcasing the day's events and the competitors. To their surprise, the Celestial Seeker's crew featured prominently in the previews. "Looks like you guys are the stars of the show," Supernova Stella said, appearing beside them with a grin. "Everyone's excited to see what you can do." Nyx felt a flutter in her thorax that she now recognized as nerves and excitement. "We will do our best to provide an adequate demonstration of our abilities," she said, her formal tone at odds with the anticipation evident in her twitching antennae. The opening ceremony was a spectacle unlike anything the aliens had ever witnessed. Laser lights painted the air with vibrant colors, music pulsed through the station with a beat that seemed to resonate in their very bones, and the cheers of the crowd were deafening. Commander Ryder took the central stage, his voice booming through the arena. "Welcome, thrill seekers and daredevils, to the 25th Annual Cosmic Crusher Championship. This year, we're making history with our first ever interstellar competitors. Let's show the galaxy what it means to be truly cosmic." The crowd's roar reached a fever pitch as the Celestial Seeker's crew was introduced. Nyx was surprised to find herself straightening up, pride swelling in her chest as she and her team waved to the enthusiastic audience. The championship was structured as a multi-stage event, with each stage showcasing a different extreme sport. The competitors will accumulate points based on their performance, with the highest total at the end crowned the Cosmic Crusher Champion. The first event was Gravity Defiance, a complex obstacle course that combined elements of parkour, free running, and anti-gravity maneuvering. Nyx felt a surge of confidence as she approached the starting line. This was what she had been training for. As the starting signal blared, Nyx launched herself into action. Her elongated body allowed her to navigate the course with an efficiency that left the human competitors in awe. She slithered up vertical walls, used her flexible limbs to absorb impacts from long falls, and even utilized her antennae to sense upcoming obstacles. The crowd went wild as Nyx crossed the finish line, setting a new course record. As she was engulfed in the cheers and congratulations of her teammates, Nyx realized she was experiencing something entirely new, the thrill of competition, the joy of pushing her limits. Next up was the Cosmic Trapeze event, where Vex's training would be put to the test. As he ascended the platform, his 4 arms gleaming under the spotlights, a hush fell over the arena. The music began, and Vex launched into his routine. His extra limbs allowed him to create shapes and movements never before seen in the sport. He twisted, spun, and contorted his body in ways that defied gravity and logic. When he finally descended, the crowd's stunned silence erupted into thunderous applause. That, Stratosphere, Sarah said, wiping a tear from her eye, was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. As the day progressed, each member of the Celestial Seekers crew had their moment to shine. Zora's neutron star surfing performance left spectators questioning the very nature of physics and spatial navigation. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. During the asteroid field slalom, a high-speed race through a simulated asteroid belt, Nyx found herself struggling. The rapid changes in direction and gravity played havoc with her inner equilibrium. She finished the race, but well behind the leaders. As she stumbled off the course, disoriented and discouraged, she found herself surrounded by her team and their human friends. "Hey, Tentacle Head," gravity-defying Greg said, his gruff voice tinged with concern. "You okay?" Nyx nodded, her antennae drooping in frustration. I failed. I let the team down." "Failed?" Supernova Stella scoffed. "Are you kidding me? You just navigated an asteroid field at near-light speeds. Do you know how many beings in the galaxy can say that?" Vex placed a comforting hand on Nyx's shoulder. "The captain's right. This isn't about winning or losing. It's about pushing boundaries, remember." As her team rallied around her, Nyx felt a warmth spreading through her body that had nothing to do with the recent race. This, she realized, was what the Cosmic Crushers were truly about, facing challenges together, supporting each other, and celebrating every victory, no matter how small. The final event of the day was the Cosmic Obstacle Crush, a grueling team challenge that combined elements from all the previous events. It would require every ounce of skill, strength, and teamwork the competitors could muster. As the Celestial Seekers crew huddled together before the start, Nyx looked at each of her teammates. "Whatever happens," she said, her voice filled with pride, "we have already achieved more than I ever thought possible. Let us show the galaxy what unity truly means." The challenge was brutal, testing them in ways they had never imagined. They scaled towering structures, navigated zero-gravity mazes, and even had to pilot small craft through an asteroid field. But through it all, they worked together seamlessly, their diverse abilities complementing each other perfectly. As they approached the final obstacle, a sheer cliff face that seemed to stretch into infinity, they found themselves neck and neck with the human team, led by Supernova Stella. "Looks like it's down to us, Tentacle Head," Stella shouted over the roar of the crowd. "May the best species win." What followed was a climbing duel for the ages. The humans, with their experience and specialized gear, took an early lead, but the aliens, utilizing their unique physiologies and newfound skills, began to close the gap. In the final moments, as both teams neared the summit, Nyx made a decision. Instead of pushing for the win, she reached out a limb to Stella, who was struggling with a particularly difficult handhold. Together, Nyx chittered, her large eyes meeting Stella's startled gaze. Understanding dawned on Stella's face, and she grasped Nyx's offered limb. As one, human and alien, they crested the summit. The arena erupted in cheers as both teams embraced atop the cliff, the distinction between winner and loser forgotten in the face of their shared achievement. As they were lowered back to the ground, surrounded by the adulation of the crowd, Nyx realized that they had accomplished something far greater than winning a sporting event. They had bridged the gap between species, showcasing the true potential of galactic cooperation. Commander Ryder's voice boomed through the arena once more. "Ladies, gentlemen, and beings of all species, I give you your Cosmic Crusher champions, not just of this event, but of the very spirit of risk and daring." As medals were placed around their necks, a curious human tradition, Nyx thought, the captain of the Celestial Seeker, looked at her team, at their human friends, and at the cheering crowd. They had come seeking repairs, but they had found so much more. They had found a new understanding of themselves, of humanity, and of the boundless possibilities that lay before them in the vast expanse of the universe. The Cosmic Crusher Championship was over, but for Nyx and her crew, a new adventure was just beginning. The days following the Cosmic Crusher Championship passed in a whirlwind of celebration, reflection, and preparation. As the crew of the Celestial Seeker basked in their newfound celebrity status, they also found themselves at the center of a rapidly evolving dialogue about interspecies cooperation and understanding. News of their performance had spread far beyond Nebula 9 Station. The Xeroxian High Council had sent official commendations, and requests for interviews and appearances flooded in from across known space. It seemed that impromptu sporting adventure had captured the imagination of countless beings. Amidst the chaos, Captain Nyx found a moment of quiet to visit the Celestial Seeker, still docked in the station's repair bay. Chief Engineer Dr. Wong greeted her with a warm smile and a firm handshake, a human gesture the captain had grown oddly fond of. "She's all patched up and better than ever, Captain," Dr. Wong said, patting the ship's hull affectionately. "We've even made a few upgrades. Hope you don't mind." Nyx's antennae twitched curiously. "Upgrades?" Dr. Wong's grin widened. "Let's just say she's a bit more cosmic now. Nothing crazy, mind you. Just a few tweaks to improve maneuverability and resilience. You never know when you might need to pull off some extreme maneuvers out there in the black." As they toured the ship, Nyx was impressed by the seamless integration of human ingenuity with Xeroxian technology. It was a tangible representation of what could be achieved when different species work together, combining their unique strengths and perspectives. The night before their scheduled departure, Commander Ryder organized a farewell party for the Celestial Seeker's crew. The station's main promenade had been transformed into a vibrant celebration of both human and alien cultures. Foods from across the galaxy were served alongside Earth delicacies, and the air was filled with a cacophony of music from various worlds. As Nyx watched her crew mingle with the humans, Vex demonstrating a traditional Xeroxian dance with his forearms, Zara entertaining a group of children with her color-changing scales, and even the usually reserved navigation officer engaged in what appeared to be a good-natured arm wrestling contest, she felt a profound sense of change. Supernova Stella sidled up to her, a glass of something fizzy in her hand. "Credit for your thoughts, Tentacle Head," she asked, echoing Ryder's words from days earlier. Nyx chittered in amusement. "I believe I understand the reference now. I was just reflecting on how much has changed since we arrived here." Stella nodded, her usual mischievous grin softening into a more thoughtful expression. "You guys have changed us too, you know. Showed us that there's always a new perspective, a new way of pushing limits." Their conversation was interrupted by Commander Ryder, who clinked a spoon against his glass to call for attention. "Friends, colleagues, honored guests," he began, his voice carrying across the promenade. "We gathered here a week ago, as strangers from different worlds. Today, we part as friends, as fellow adventurers, as cosmic crushers all." A cheer went up from the crowd, and Ryder waited for it to subside before continuing. "But more than that, I believe we've witnessed the beginning of something truly extraordinary. The spirit of risk and daring that we celebrate here isn't just about sports or thrills. It's about pushing boundaries, challenging preconceptions, and daring to imagine a better future." He raised his glass. "To the crew of the Celestial Seeker, who came seeking repairs and instead helped repair the divide between our species. And to all of us, may we continue to be cosmic in all our endeavors." The toast was met with enthusiastic applause, and as the celebration continued into the night, Nix found herself drawn into conversations about the future. Plans were made for cultural exchange programs, joint scientific expeditions, and even talks of establishing a permanent alien division in future Cosmic Crusher championships. As the party wound down, Nix found herself once again gazing out at the stars, Commander Ryder at her side. "You know," Ryder said, his voice soft, "when we first built this station out here on the edge of human space, some people thought we were crazy. Said there was nothing out here worth exploring." Nix turned to him, her large eyes curious. "And what did you tell them?" Ryder smiled. "I told them that the whole point of being out here is to find the things, and the beings, we don't know about yet. To push past our own limits and discover new ones." Nix felt her antennae quiver with emotion. "I believe I finally understand, Commander. And I thank you, all of you, for helping us discover our own hidden potential." As they stood there, human and alien, gazing out at the vast expanse of space, both felt a sense of anticipation for what the future might hold. The universe, it seemed, had just gotten a whole lot bigger and a whole lot more exciting. The next morning, as the Celestial Seeker prepared for departure, the docking bay was crowded with well-wishers. Gifts were exchanged, promises to stay in touch were made, and more than a few tears were shed, both human and alien. As Nix stood at the airlock, saying her final goodbyes, gravity-defying Greg approached with an unexpected gift, a small gleaming medal. "It's not official or anything," Greg said gruffly, though there was warmth in his eyes. "But as far as I'm concerned, you've earned the title of honorary human. Wear it proud, tentacle head." Touched by the gesture, Nix accepted the medal with a formal bow. "I shall treasure it always, my friend." As the airlock closed and the Celestial Seeker prepared to disengage from Nebula 9, Nix looked at her crew. Their bodies were changed, toned and strengthened by their time among the humans. But more than that, their spirits were transformed. In their eyes she saw a new spark of adventure, a willingness to face the unknown with excitement rather than trepidation. "Well, my fellow Cosmic Crushers," Nix said, settling into the captain's chair, "shall we see what other limits we can push out there in the cosmos?" The enthusiastic response from her crew told her all she needed to know. As the Celestial Seeker pulled away from the station, its engines humming with newfound power, Nix felt a thrill of excitement. They had come seeking repairs, but humanity had given them so much more. They had given them a new way of seeing the universe and themselves. And as they set course for the unknown, Nix knew that this was just the beginning of their cosmic adventure. As the Celestial Seeker glided smoothly through the vast expanse of space, Captain Nix found herself reflecting on the incredible journey they had experienced. The ship's enhanced engines, a parting gift from their human friends, hummed with a power that seemed to embody the newfound energy of her crew. "Status report," Nix called out, more out of habit than necessity. The bridge of the Celestial Seeker was alive with activity, but it was different now. Gone was the rigid formality that had once defined their interactions. In its place was a vibrant, collaborative atmosphere that reminded Nix of the controlled chaos they had witnessed on Nebula 9. Vex, his four arms moving in perfect harmony across his console, responded with a grin. "All systems are running at 120% efficiency, Captain. These human upgrades are cosmic." A ripple of laughter spread across the bridge at Vex's use of human slang. Even Nix found her antennae twitching in amusement. "Captain," Zara called out, her scales shimmering with excitement, "I'm detecting an anomaly in the nearby asteroid field. It appears to be moving." In the past, such news would have been met with caution, perhaps even fear. But now, Nix felt a familiar tingle of excitement. "Excellent observation, Zara. Let's investigate. After all, we're Cosmic Crushers now. A little asteroid surfing should be child's play." The crew responded with enthusiastic cheers as they maneuvered the Celestial Seeker towards the anomaly. As they approached, they realized it wasn't just one moving asteroid, but an entire swarm, dancing in intricate patterns through space. "It's beautiful," Nyx breathed, her large eyes reflecting the swirling rocks. But what could be causing this? As if in answer to her question, a massive creature emerged from the center of the swarm. It was unlike anything they had ever encountered, a being of pure energy, its form constantly shifting and changing, manipulating the asteroids around it like a cosmic conductor. In the past, such a sight might have sent them fleeing in terror. But their time with the humans had taught them to see wonder where once they saw only danger. "Open a channel," Nyx commanded, her voice filled with determination. "Let's introduce ourselves." What followed was a remarkable first contact. The energy being, which they came to call the Astro-Harmonist, communicated through pulses of light and gravitational waves. It took all of their combined skills, Zora's navigational expertise, Vex's multitasking abilities, and the lessons in creative problem-solving they had learned from the humans to establish a rudimentary form of communication. They learned that the Astro-Harmonist was a solitary explorer, much like themselves, seeking to understand the universe through the cosmic dance of celestial bodies. It was fascinated by their ship and their stories of other worlds. As they spent time with the Astro-Harmonist, teaching it about their cultures and learning about its unique perspective on the cosmos, Nyx couldn't help but think of their time on Nebula 9. Once again, they were pushing boundaries, exploring the unknown, and forging connections across the vastness of space. After several days of fascinating exchanges, it was time for the Celestial Seeker to continue its journey. As they prepared to depart, the Astro-Harmonist gifted them with a spectacular display, orchestrating the asteroid swarm into a dazzling farewell performance that left the entire crew in awe. As they set course for their next destination, Nyx gathered her crew for a meeting. "I've been thinking," she began, her antennae swaying thoughtfully, "about our mission, about what we learned from the humans, and about our encounter with the Astro-Harmonist." The crew listened intently, sensing the importance of the moment. "We set out as a research vessel, seeking to expand our scientific knowledge," Nyx continued. "But I believe we've discovered something far more valuable, a new way of approaching the universe and our place in it." She gestured to the viewport, where stars streaked by in brilliant lines of light. "The humans showed us that there's more to exploration than careful observation from a safe distance. And the Astro-Harmonist reminded us that there are wonders out there beyond our wildest imagination." Nyx's large eyes sparkled with determination. "I propose a new mission for the Celestial Seeker. Let's combine our Xeroxian dedication to knowledge with the human spirit of adventure. Let's seek out new life, new civilizations, and new challenges. Let's push not just the boundaries of known space, but the limits of what we believe is possible." The crew's response was immediate and unanimous. Cheers echoed through the ship as each member of the Celestial Seeker embraced this new vision of their future. In the weeks and months that followed, the Celestial Seeker's adventures became the stuff of legend across the galaxy. They discovered new worlds, made first contact with dozens of species, and even competed in the first intergalactic Cosmic Crusher Championship, broadcast live to billions of beings across known space. Their example inspired others. Soon, joint human Xeroxian exploration teams were venturing into uncharted regions of the cosmos. Cultural exchange programs flourished, with beings from hundreds of worlds coming together to share knowledge, skills, and the spirit of adventure. And on Nebula 9, a new wing was added to the station, the Intergalactic Cosmic Crusher Academy, where beings from across the galaxy came to learn not just extreme sports, but the philosophy of pushing limits and embracing the unknown. Years later, as Captain Nyx stood on the bridge of the Celestial Seeker, preparing to lead a massive joint expedition into a newly discovered galaxy, she thought back to that fateful day when they had limped into Nebula 9, seeking nothing more than simple repairs. They had arrived looking for help, but humanity had given them so much more. They had given them a new perspective, a new purpose, and a new understanding of what it meant to truly live among the stars. As the Celestial Seeker prepared to make the jump into the unknown, Nyx felt that familiar tingle of excitement. She looked at her crew, Xeroxian, human, and a dozen other species, all working together in perfect harmony, and smiled. "All right, cosmic crushers," she said, her voice filled with pride and anticipation. "Let's see what wonders await us out there. The universe is calling, and it's time for us to answer. Let's get cosmic." With a cheer that seemed to echo across the cosmos, the celestial seeker leaped into the unknown, carrying with it the spirit of adventure, the thrill of discovery, and the unbreakable bonds of friendship that had been forged in the most unexpected of places. Their greatest adventure, it seemed, was just beginning.